In the peaceful forest parks of Zelenograd, a suburb of Moscow, the summer of 2001 was anything but quiet. A shadow was moving through the trees, a shadow that carried a hammer and a deep-seated hatred for women. For months, local residents lived in terror of the Zelenograd Chikatilo, a man who struck without warning and disappeared as quickly as he arrived. But the most shocking part of his story isn't just his crimes. It's how his life finally ended. Thousands of miles from the prison cell where he was supposed to die. This is the story of Yuri Gritsenko. Yuri Gritsenko didn't start as a monster. He started as a man of the law. Notes that he grew up as a closed and unsociable person, raised by a strict mother and a carpenter father. Seeking to overcome his self-doubt, he joined the Soviet militia, or police force. For a while, he had a normal life, a wife, 2 children, and a stable career. But behind the uniform, a darkness was growing. Gritsenko struggled with severe alcohol abuse, which eventually cost him his badge. In 1993, the mask finally slipped. After a dispute with a sex worker, he beat her to death with a frying pan. It was his first taste of murder. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison, but he was released on parole in 2000, a decision that would prove fatal for the women of Moscow. Upon his release, Gritsenko found his family life shattered. Fueled by what psychiatrists later described as a misogynistic complex, he began a terrifying spree in April 2001. Mediazona reports that over the next 8 months, he carried out 14 violent robberies. His signature was brutal and efficient. He would stalk lone women in the urban forests of Zelenograd during the day, sneaking up from behind and striking them in the temple with a heavy hammer. He didn't just want their money. He later confessed to investigators that he liked the sound of the hammer hitting his victims' heads. By the time his spree ended, 5 women were dead and at least 10 others were left with life-altering brain injuries. For months, the police were baffled. Survivors couldn't describe him because he always attacked from behind. But on November 19, 2001, Gritsenko's luck finally ran out in Moscow's Friendship Park. He pounced on a woman, but this time, someone heard her screams. Wikipedia details how a bus driver named Anatoly Sukov rushed to her aid. Gritsenko turned his hammer on the savior, but Sukov fought back, managed to wound the killer, and held him until authorities arrived. In 2002, despite a diagnosis of schizophrenia, Gritsenko was found sane enough to stand trial. He was sentenced to 22 years in prison. Behind bars, he remained one of the most aggressive inmates in the system, spending a staggering 13 years in solitary confinement for attacking other prisoners. Gritsenko was supposed to be released in 2024, but in a bizarre turn of events, the 62-year-old serial killer was recruited from his penal colony to join the Russian armed forces in the war against Ukraine. Yahoo News reported that he joined a medical evacuation unit of the Stormzy squad, hoping to earn enough money to start a new life. It was a short-lived freedom. In early 2026, reports surfaced that the Zelenograd killer had been killed in action. Mediazona confirmed his death through state registries, marking the end of a dark chapter that spanned 3 decades. Yuri Gritsenko began his career protecting the public and ended it as one of Russia's most feared maniacs. His story remains a chilling reminder of how easily the line between law and lawlessness can be crossed. Thanks for watching. If you found this case interesting, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most notorious true crime stories.